Hiya, and welcome back to Remember the Flowers, the game that teaches us that Cooper is a lying, slimy piece of shit that deserves to be. I swear to God, it is not going to end well for him. He is going to die by my hands, and no one can stop me. I swear to God. I'm not mad at all. I don't know. I'm not mad at all. So anyways, let's just hop right in. Oh, hey there. She perks up and walks up to me, kneeling down so she's more eye level. How are you feeling? Fine, thank you. She claps her hands together. It gives me a good look at her prosthetic arm. Good, I'm glad. We were in a rough enough state the first time we found you. The hyena starts to pat my head. I can tell she's holding back, but that doesn't stop her from bobbing my head up and down. She seems pretty nice, but I'm already a bit overwhelmed with everything as is. We didn't go through all that trouble just for you to squish him, Rose. What do you mean, we? Axel and I did the hard work. You just stayed in the car. Hey, you wouldn't be able to do jack without me hacking into their security systems, which screwed up so bad that we lost a whole week of progress and nearly got us all caught. You bashed in a guard's head after they asked you for your authorization. I was sending it to you. They start to get into each other's faces. Both of them are puffing up as they argue. Instinctively, I take a step back, not realizing I backed into Axel's chest. Oh, sorry. I moved to stand next to him. You're fine. What's up? Is this normal for them? Oh yeah, they do this all the time. I look back at the bickering duo. I can't even understand what they're saying anymore. I thought I liked bantering, but this... Maybe they're just that close. Axel doesn't seem to want to stop them. You can leave them be. They've been cooped up for a while and they probably want to blow off some steam. Rose and Ring are pulling on each other's faces at this point. Huh. Want me to give you the tour? Sure, why not? It's not much, but we've staked out here a few times. It looks like an old warehouse. Is it safe? The roof caved in once, but we fixed it. Why don't you just stay in the car? We have to power it down in order to conserve energy. It gets stuffy and hot really fast with 3 people. Huh. Why don't we just find a capsule motel? Oh, you've used one? Lance took me to his place with one. Well, there aren't many places that could fit everything we bring. Believe me, we've tried cramming the in-vehicle in one. I see. Do you need any help setting up? Sure, you can help me carry some supplies in. It'll give us a chance to avoid the bickering. Sounds good. We make our way around the side of the in-vehicle. Rose is nearly strangling Ring on the ground. Ring lets out a yelp here and there. Axel opens up a panel on the side of the car. Rose, play nice. I'll think about it, boss. He's still smiling. Just a typical Tuesday, I guess. Weirdos. It'd be endearing if I wasn't forced to be here. Okay, I'm gonna start bringing stuff into the warehouse. Shouldn't take more than half an hour to set everything up. If you could grab some of the smaller boxes, that'd be appreciated. I'll try. It takes a bit of effort, but even my spindly arms can lift up 2 of the boxes. Maybe I can garner some trust by being cooperative. Find out what they know. Then book it. Oh yeah, do you have any favorite foods? I probably do, but I don't remember any off the top of my head. I see. Well, if you figure out anything, let me know. I'll be happy to make it for you. Axel gives me a reassuring smile. At least I think he's trying to be reassuring. Stupid wolf. I hate that I can't take gestures like that at face value anymore. I'll think about it. What about you? What's your favorite? That's a toughie. I have a lot of favorites. Axel nods in the direction of the warehouse, signaling me to follow. If I had to pick, it'd probably be some kind of seafood. I love fish. I can't help but chuckle. What? Nothing. It's just, I know another tiger with similar tastes. Ah, I see. Well, it is pretty common for us to like fish. I wouldn't pass up a good steak, though. I don't think I would either. I can't help but think back a bit to a time where I convinced Damien to go on a nice date with me. It's fuzzy, but I can make the general idea out. I remember how much he griped about wearing a button-up shirt. It looked good on him. I can't help but sigh. Something wrong? Just reminiscing. Something sad? No, not at all. I can't help but smile a little as I head into the warehouse. What are they like? I hesitate as I plant the boxes down next to Axel. It'd be nice to talk about myself for a change. Trying to think of all the possibilities on the spot is sort of debilitating. This will be a good opportunity to keep some level of control in a conversation. He's my boyfriend, and I miss him. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hear what? Well, he's passed on, right? What? No, what? Huh? Why would you think that? For some reason, I feel a bit of heat in my cheeks. I don't know. I didn't think you'd know someone back in Rasum like that. I didn't know him there. I knew him back home. Oh, I see. Sorry for misunderstanding. The big tiger looks embarrassed. I wasn't trying to insinuate anything. I huff. It's fine. I don't know why I got so riled up. It's okay. You've been through a lot, especially in the past few days. Tell me about it. That's what I was going to say. I know you gave us the rundown earlier, but I want to know more about your thoughts on the situation. What's there to talk about? I was handed from one person to another group. While that may not be entirely inaccurate, we did break you out of Rasum to keep you as far away from there as possible. Axel is rummaging through one of the boxes. It looks like he's setting up some portable cooking equipment. Do you hate Lance? He asks it so casually, but I can tell he's been wanting to ask for a while now. I ponder for a moment. I'm still not sure. It all happened so fast. I think I still have emotional whiplash. We can work through that, if you want to. I'd understand if you'd rather not, though. After everything you've been through, I'm sure trusting people is a challenge in and of itself. Maybe. I can't tell if he's reading my vibe or just being considerate. There shouldn't be any harm in venting my emotions, as long as I remain perceptive. Right? I guess it's not inaccurate to say that I kind of hate him. It surprises me how hard that was to say. I mean, he dragged me around just so he could sell me. Speaking in half-truths probably just to make himself feel better too. Oh, you wouldn't want to stay with me. Damn right I don't. But even still, I pause again. Axel stops what he's doing to give me his full attention. Take your time. It's just, even now I can't figure out what was real and what wasn't. How much of our friendship was a lie? Axel nods. I guess he's had some experiences himself. What do you think? Me? Well, that seems to have caught him off guard. I guess I'm just surprised with how similar our experiences were. I knew him for a long time, but didn't expect him to do what he did. All for the sake of our found family, no less. Although I'm pretty sure he was just in it for the money. Sounds about right. Money was all the guy could talk about. Just hard to believe he'd go off and sell someone he swore to protect. Even harder to believe that he thought we'd understand. Well, I'm glad you didn't. No, we understood why he did it, we just didn't agree with it and threw him out. Now it's his turn to pause. Sometimes I still think that I should have ended it there, so that he wouldn't keep doing it. It wouldn't be wrong to say that it's partly my fault that you had to deal with him in the first place. I'm sorry about that. That surprises me. He's displaying more honesty in the past few hours than I've seen in the past week alone. Sorry, didn't mean to make things heavy. Do you mind fetching the others? They should be done with their squabbling right about now. I'll need some help getting dinner started. Oh, sure. I'll be right back. Something about him. He's not like Lance. And while I want to stay alert, something tells me I can trust him. I hope I can for my sake. The sun's starting to set. Now that I think about it, won't it get cold? The warehouse doesn't look insulated. I'll need to ask for a blanket or two. I don't see the hyena or dragon outside. Maybe they're still by the car? I move around the bulky cart, and sure enough, there they are. Ring looks passed out on the ground. Rose is tinkering with her arm. Everything okay? Oh, hey, Sai, what's up? I grimace. Axel says he wants some help with dinner. Gotcha. Sorry, didn't realize how late it's gotten. She gets up and dusts off her jeans, leaving the dragon behind. Are you going to get him? If he misses out on dinner because he pissed me off, that's on him. He knew what he was getting into. Harsh. He's still breathing, at least. To be honest, the petty side of me does take some satisfaction in seeing him flat on the ground. But at the same time, the considerate side of me wants to make sure he's okay. You go on ahead. I'll, go check the damage. It'll take more than that to kill him. Not much more, but more. I see. Trust me, he'll be fine. Probably. Great vote of confidence. If you really want to wake him up, just tell him someone is eating you-know-whose food. That should do it. Okay, why don't you go and do that? Because he's been getting on my nerves and I don't... Because he's been getting on my nerves and I don't want to. Simple as that. A bit too simple, but I guess I can respect the pettiness to some degree. Besides, he sucks at cooking. I was already going to be doing most of the work with Axel. Him being up wouldn't make that much of a difference. I see. I can't tell if they have a close relationship or they just hate each other. Maybe both. Well, I'll see you inside, I guess. She waves as she walks in. I turn my attention to the dragon lying on his back. Honestly, I kind of want to head back in too. Maybe this is an opportunity to get on his good side. I mumble to myself as I walk over to and crouch down beside the dragon. There's a bit of drool dripping from his snout. Hey you, are you okay? Besides some grumbling, there's not much of a response. I'm definitely not strong enough to pick him up. Wonder if I should go get Axel for this. Then I'm reminded of what Rose said to me. Might as well try it, right? Hey, Ring? Someone is eating you-know-whose food. The dragon snaps his mouth shut and starts to glare at me, before sitting up and grabbing my shoulders. Was it you? Did you eat the food Silver made me? Instinctively, I try to push on the dragon's chest to get him off of me, with little success. Don't touch me! Who the hell is Silver? Ring seems to come to as he quickly pulls his arms back to cover his mouth. His eyes are wide as he slowly lowers his hands. You didn't hear that. I sure did. His moment of fear is quickly replaced with animosity. If you let anyone know I told you that name, I'll kill you. Where have I heard that before? Annoyed, I get myself up and pat my pants clean. Whatever, man. Dinner's going to be ready soon. That's all I came here to tell you. Yeah, definitely a waste of time. I can hear the dragon curse to himself behind me as I make my way back inside. My bad mood quickly dissipates. Something smells really good in here. I hadn't been gone for very long, but Axel and Rose have set up a small kitchen station to prepare everything. Oh, there you are. Do you have any requests, Cyrus? No, I'm not very picky. Good. I think you and I will get along fine then. If you say so. Do you need any help? Did you get Ring up? Unfortunately. Rose snorts at that. He's grumpy when you wake him up. Also has loose lips. Axel drops a smile. What do you mean? Hey! Ring walks in, grumpy as ever. Rose, did you eat Talon's food again? No, I didn't, you dumbass. I just knew you'd wake up if someone said that. Ah, I see. Talon must be Silver's code name. Now there's a nugget of information to keep in mind. I wonder if I'm petty enough to blackmail. We shall see. Ring glares at me. What? Nothing. I roll my eyes and decide to return to ignoring him. Axel, do you need anything else? Not really. Food's almost done. There's some crates around the place you could grab for us if you want. Do you want them anywhere? Just make a circle. We'll put some of the food in the middle for people to serve themselves. Alright. Looking around the warehouse, there's a variety of boxes. Some look like wooden crates while others are similar to the ones Lance had. You certainly won't pass for a matching dinner set, but I guess I'll get the job done. Since they're mostly empty, it's just a matter of pushing them into place. Thankfully, it doesn't take me very long. Looking over my shoulder, I see Axel and Rose working away. Can you pass me the salt? Coming right up. Got the peppers? Here you go. They're working pretty well together. Wonder how often they do improv dinners like this. Wait, someone's missing. I moved the last box and noticed Ring leaning against the wall, on his axiom. I can't help but frown. Ring catches me staring at him. He sneers back. I roll my eyes and dust my hands off before checking on the others. That smells amazing. I'm surprised you were able to make do all the way out here. It's not much. It's pretty common for us to go on long trips, sometimes through the desert. We had to get good at making food that keeps for a long time. Ring used to make us military-grade food. His meals got old pretty fast. Huh, there's a military? Is that why he's sulking in the corner? No, he knows he's really bad at cooking. It's either bland as hell, or he makes it so spicy he'll blow up a toilet. Come on, Rose, don't be so hard on him. Cooking isn't easy. Obviously not with how he handles himself in the kitchen. He overseasons everything to suit his tastes. He once told me it's something to do with being part dragon. Different taste buds. Wouldn't be surprised, but I'd rather not have a gallon of milk at the dinner table if I can avoid it. You don't like spicy food? I do, but not how he does it. When we get home, I'll make you one of my specialties. Sure. We can try to make all sorts of things for you. Might help you remember which are your favorites. He doesn't even remember that much. A tear slides down her cheek. Poor guy. I'm fine, really. I can't miss something I don't remember. You don't have to trouble yourselves over me. Oh, okay. Axel, can you pass me that? Without even skipping a beat, her teary eyes disappears. She was doing that anime fist tear thing that anime characters sometimes do. Sure, here you go. I'm gonna start setting up now. Sounds good. It's almost done. Hey, Cyrus, can you help me for a sec? Sure, what's up? Axel crouches down behind their makeshift kitchen and then holds up some kind of gadget. It's starting to get late. Since there's no lights in this building, we use these special lanterns. It looks sort of green, almost ghostly. What makes them special? Do I need to do something? I just need you to hold it still while I put in the fluid. Fluid? Yeah, it's a bioluminescent fluid. It's hard to come by, so I'd rather not spill it. It lasts for a long time, though. I think I can handle that. Is it safe to touch? As long as it doesn't get near your eyes. Axel places a lantern in front of me. Just hold it steady for me, alright? Got it. The lantern's surface feels cool to the touch. I wonder if it's glass. Oh, right. We'll look at your hand after we eat. It's fine. It doesn't hurt. That's not all. We should still make sure it's not infected. Alrighty. Anyway, ready when you are. Thanks. Should take just a minute. Axel slides to the top of a canteen, which produces a small opening. The fluid he pours reminds me of syrup, if it will seafoam green. I was expecting it to smell bad, but I'm surprised that it's almost smoky. Easy does it? Almost there? His arms are trembling as he tries to keep himself steady. Once he fills up most of the flask, he carefully slides the top of the container to shut it before placing it down with a solid huff. Man, I hate using this stuff. Seems kind of cumbersome. Do you not have portable lights? We do, but we don't have a convenient way to charge them. They're for emergencies. That's weird. I thought everything y'all use is solar powered. Not necessarily. Some equipment is, like the Axiom, but a lot of it is powered with kinetic energy. You lost me. That's alright. We'll show you when we get back. Just know it's a bit awkward to power stuff if we're away for a long time. We like to save most of the power for the in-vehicle. I guess that makes sense. Rose calls and gets our attention. You guys ready to eat? Absolutely. Hey, Ring, come on. It's dinner time. Thank God, I was about to keel over. You know I can always make you something if you're hungry. You don't have to wait. I'm not going to bother you to make me a sandwich in the middle of a mission. I'll just save some leftovers for later. Suit yourself. Can you get the bowls and plates? Sure. Give me a sec. Give me a second. I'll get the food ready to serve. Appreciate it. They chat amongst themselves as they get everything set up. I wonder if they've forgotten that I'm here. If they have, this must be how they genuinely interact with each other. I can't deny that it's heartwarming. They have a nice dynamic going on. At least on the surface. I think Cyrus should be the first to eat. Huh? How come? He's our guest, Ring. Can't be a guest if he's gonna live with us. Technically, he's right, but I still think Sai should choose. Fine, whatever. Just this once. Attaboy. Axel sits down on a crate and motions for me to sit next to him. I can serve you. Just let me know what you'd like to try. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It's hard not to drop my guard around this guy. His voice is really calming to listen to. This group was already way more considerate than my last host. As of right now, I don't think they've lied to me. Axel said there were things he can't explain right now, but soon. That's way better than what Lance was doing. Lance from the get-go wasn't happy with the situation. I'm pretty sure he only tolerated me at the start for the money. Maybe I'm just being naive, but I don't think this group is lying to me. If they were, it wouldn't take long for their stories to fall apart. As far as I can tell, everything is adding up. I've been trying to stay alert for only one day and I'm already exhausted. I'm tired of being on edge. I think I deserve some time to relax a bit. I think I'd like to try some of that soup if that's alright. Coming right up. I think the fatigue from everything is starting to hit me. As wimpy as it sounds, I don't want to put too much effort into eating right now. I just want to sip some soup and go to bed. That reminds me. Hey Axel, are you sure we can't sleep in the in-vehicle? Axel pours a ladle of creamy broth into my bowl before setting some kind of pastry on a plate next to it. Sorry, probably not. We need to keep it off for the night to conserve power. Cloaking takes a lot of energy. That's why we set up here. I see. Don't be a wuss. How about don't be a dick? I'm not. He can handle it. I'm just worried about the desert getting cold. We have a heated blanket for you to use. Made it myself. I really want to say that doesn't make me feel much better, but decide not to. Too tired for that. I appreciate it. No problem. Hey, you don't get any dumplings. Come on. You can't hog them all the time. They're the last batch Talon made. Fuck off. That's because you ate the last two by yourself. He made them for me. He made them for us. They continue their dinner time squabble. Didn't realize I'd get dinner and a show. Speaking of, the soup is absolutely amazing. It's the perfect temperature with a good amount of flavor. I think it's a fish soup. It tastes, well, fishy. In a good way. Fish, leek, and potato soup maybe? With just a hint of peppers for a kick. Not what I'd go with, but I can't deny that it works well together. You made this soup, Axel? Oh yeah, I did. You like it? It's amazing, thank you. For what? He looks bewildered for some reason. For giving me a decent meal? Oh, you're welcome, but you don't need to thank me. Still, thank you. I appreciate having an actual meal for once. Guess it's been a while, huh? Feels like years. Well, eat up. When we get home, I'll have access to my kitchen. I'll make you anything you want anytime. I can't help but chuckle. I might have to hold you to that. I go to take another spoonful of soup before being interrupted by a dragon's hand. Here, you can have one. He's holding a dumpling on a pair of tongs. Axel and Rose look stunned. I guess I do too because I don't respond right away, which makes Ring annoyed. Well, do you want one or not? Sure, thank you. I find another plate and hold it up for Ring. He delicately places the dumpling down. Dang! I guess Axel was right. You are warming up to the newbie. Now, Rose. Don't tease behavior you want to see more of. I'm just saying. Thank you, Ring. I appreciate it. Don't mention it. I am curious, though. What's the occasion, Ring? Nothing. That face. Rose and Axel lean in with mischievous smiles. What? You're allowed to be nice, you know. I am nice. Rose snorts. Shut up. I felt bad for him. He probably hasn't eaten anything good in a long time. I'm allowed to be nice. We already said that. Don't worry, I won't tell Talon. Promise? Ring, he won't care that you shared your food. He said you don't have to hoard it anyway. Not gonna stop me from trying. Clearly. Do I get one too? No. Come on. Let me have just one. I said no. Fuck off. Rose starts clinking together a pair of tongs as she's about to bounce, which makes Ring move back defensively. Now they're all getting into it, laughing and teasing each other while they eat. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is nice. Really nice. Just watching them interact makes me happy. I continue to sip on the soup. With all of the commotion, I'm already feeling sleepy. A tiny part of me wonders if they drugged the soup or something to make me tired, but I quickly quash that notion. They're all eating it, and they could knock me out if they wanted to. Damn it, I'm getting too paranoid for my own good. I can't help but yawn before I bite into the dumpling. Okay, I can see why Ring is so protective of these things. They're steamed, and there's just enough fat inside to make them rich and flavorful. Good, right? Ring is looking at me expectantly. I quickly swallow. Yeah, they are good. Talon made these? Sure did. He usually works solo. Sometimes we go a few months without seeing him. But he makes us a lot of good food to store before leaving. You mean he makes you a lot of good food? I don't remember the last time I got a whole meal from him. Have you tried asking? Have you tried shutting the fuck up? They glare at each other again. I can't help but chuckle. You guys are a riot, that's for sure. Axel smiles at me. You better get used to it. Don't worry, if Ring ever pisses you off too much, just call me. I'll knock him on his ass. I'm not going to antagonize the guy. Somehow I have trouble believing that. Oh, shut it. I'll play nice as long as he does. I rest my head on my hand and yawn before smirking. Likewise, maybe some other time. I'm starting to get a bit sleepy. I have to choke back a yawn just so I can finish up my soup. I'll set up a bed for you once you're done eating. We'll probably be up for a bit longer. We got some planning to do. Do you need any help? Axel sighs. Cyrus, you gotta take care of yourself a bit more. We'll be fine, don't worry about us. You just get some rest. Come on. Alright. We'll try not to keep you up, although some of us are a bit louder than the rest. What? What was that? Rose yells into Ring's ear. He bops her on the snout. Ow, you little... Rose, you did deserve that. Try to use your inside voice tonight, alright? Fine. Sorry, Sai. I'll be good tonight. It's fine. I'm already a light sleeper, so don't worry if I wake up. If you want, we can work outside. No, it's fine. I'm not here to trouble y'all. Alright, here, let's get you to bed then. My sleepy stupor is interrupted as Axel lifts me up by my armpits. Up you go. I have half a mind to push him off of me, but I'm too tired to try. Thankfully, he just helps me to my feet instead of trying to actually carry me. I think tomorrow I'll let them know I don't want to be touched. You sure we'll be okay sleeping in here? We'll be fine. Hardly anyone drives all the way out here. They usually just port. I'm surprised there aren't places you can go with a car. Well, there are, but they usually want authentication and registration, which, as you can imagine, wouldn't fly with our work. Fair enough. I assume you want to sleep by yourself? Probably. No problem. Let me go get everything. Sorry we don't have a toilet. If you need to go, you can just go in the corner or something. I'll manage. Can I ask for a canister of water? Yeah, I'll get one too. I'll be back in a minute. I plop my scrawny ass on the ground. Sounds good. Axel makes his way out of the warehouse pretty quickly. Looks like Rose and Ring are cleaning up dinner. Pretty amicably, I might add. I stretch my arms as I lean back and then rest my hands on the ground. Most of the ground is actually dirt. Like someone stripped off whatever flooring there was before. Must have been pretty desperate to want something like that. Or maybe there was a lodestar somewhere that someone wanted to find. Oh, that reminds me of my own. I make sure that no one's looking in my direction before reaching into my jacket pocket. Doesn't seem like anyone's paying attention to me right now. I slowly pull the stone out. I cut my palm to hide it, but it's as captivating as ever. I have some information and at least one thing of value. Wonder how far it'd get me. In the corner of my eye, I see Axel come back. As naturally as possible, I slide the stone away. What you looking at? Oh, I was just looking at my bandages. I think they need to be changed after all. Good thing I brought the first aid kit. Good thinking, I start to pull up my sleeves when it finally hits me. I'm still wearing his jacket. The scent of vanilla hits my nose. I can't help but clench my fists. Cyrus? Axel snaps me out of my thoughts. Huh? What's wrong? Your heart rate is a bit frazzled. Oh great, another walking heart monitor. Oh, sorry, I just realized how much I smell. Will I be able to shower tomorrow and wash my clothes? Of course. We have some robes you can wear while we wash everything. Great, this jacket's starting to reek. Do you want to take it off? No, I'll be fine. Alright, here, let me see that hand of yours. I outstretch my mummified hand. Starting from my middle finger, he slowly unravels all of the bandages. Dang, what happened again? I was holding a knife the wrong way. Axel looks stumped. For this long? Can't really feel pain. It was an awkward situation. Apparently. Once my hand is unraveled, I can't help but wince at the sight of the flayed skin. Unfortunately, it looks like some of the wounds are infected, indicated by some pus accumulating under the skin. That's not good. I got some disinfectant that should help. Our doctor can do much more than I can. I'll be fine. I'm pretty tough. I'm aware, but it ain't pretty to look at. He opens the box he brought to take out a bottle of pink liquid, along with a rag. Hiya! Yeah, I'm back earlier than I thought. Yeah, I'm back earlier than I thought, so, yeah. Along with the rag. On the plus side, I guess you won't feel the stinging? Probably not. Even when I was younger, I was pretty good about rubbing alcohol in shots. Lucky you. As a cat, alcohol makes me lightheaded just by smelling it. Not that kind of alcohol. And don't you want a bar? And done. I didn't realize it, but he's already cleaned up my bad hand. The rag is covered in pink and yellow. Oh, that was fast. Cats have to be quick to go unnoticed. Guess that hasn't changed. What's that? Nothing. You're a weird guy, you know that? So I've been told. Is that all? Hang on, let me wrap it up again, just for one more day. He's pretty gentle as he moves the bandages around my hand. The tiger ties a neat little bow at the base of my wrist for good measure. There, how's that feel? Good, I guess. Certainly looks better than the last bandages. Looks like an amateur job at best, in more ways than one. I try to laugh, but it's cut off by a yawn. Okay, we've kept you up long enough. We're going to try to leave before sunrise. It's about 8 p.m. right now, so you'll be able to get at least 8 hours of rest before we head out. That'd be nice. I'm pretty beat. Axel hefts himself up as he opens up a bag he brought. He unravels a big mat along with an even bigger blanket. Whoa. He'll have plenty of space with these. They're big even for me. Don't worry, I'll live without it. I didn't realize he was giving me his own. Wow, thanks. These look pretty cozy. No worries. Here, I can turn on the heat with my Axiom. How warm do you want it? A bit? I don't want to sweat even if it gets cold. Axel pulls out his Axiom and swipes on it. Unlike Lance's, his screen has an orange tint to it. In that case, I'll set it to automatic. Should work out. That's fine with me. Oof! I'm almost blindsided by the fluffy pillow tossed into my lap. Oops, sorry, should have warned you. You can use that. Don't worry if it gets dirty. We'll wash everything when we get back. Got it. Axel sets everything up in a nearby corner of the warehouse, complete with a big canteen of water and a small cylinder. That's a light you can use to get around if you need it. Do you want some earplugs too? Rose can be quite the snorer. Sure, thank you. Axel starts to rummage around in the bag he brought, giving me a moment to breathe. I didn't think it was possible, but I'm starting to get overwhelmed with how considerate he is. Unlike Lance, I think he's actually scared of not accommodating me in some way. Before I know it, he tosses me a small container. Those should be some human-grade earplugs. You can keep them. Need anything else? No, I'm okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. No problem. Well, get some rest, and don't hesitate to call me if you need anything, alright? Sure, will do. With that, Axel gets up and congregates with his crew, leaving me with a moment of peace and quiet. Whew, what a day. At least they're actually nice. Well, for the most part. Ring seems a bit prickly, but I think he at least has a heart. As I get under the blanket, I collect my thoughts. I really hope they're telling the truth. I don't think I can handle more trauma this week. I guess it wouldn't make sense for them to bust me out of Resume just to sell me, right? Unless they're selling me to a competitor or something. That's convoluted, but not impossible, I guess. I'll keep my guard up for the foreseeable future. I take one last deep breath as I put the earplugs in. They fit pretty well. The pillow is soft, but also pretty sturdy. Memory foam? Whatever it is, this makeshift bed is the best thing I've slept in a very long time. It doesn't take long for the heated blanket to knock me out. Hey, are you sure about this? I'm super groggy. What time is it? Oh god, it's night. Oh god! I lift my head up slightly. I think one of my earplugs came out. I think we should tell him ASAP. The lights are all out. Sounds like they're on the opposite side of the warehouse, whispering. There's barely any moonlight either, making it all the harder to figure out. I'm telling you, we should wait till Vita checks up on him. You're scared of how he'll react, aren't you? Terrified. I get that, but isn't it better to rip off the bandage? Do either of you want to do it? There's a moment of silence. Nope, that's not fair. You're the leader here. Which is why I'm making the decision to wait. Let's at least bring him to a stable environment with an expert on the topic. I'm sliding my hand on the mat to try and find the earplug. I can hear someone sigh. Alright, I won't say anything. Me neither, but you better be prepared for the fallout. I think he'll be alright, for the most part. Like he said, he's tough. Ring starts to yawn. If you say so. Oh well. He'll find out sooner or later. I feel bad for him. Same. Let's just make sure we're here for him, alright? They all grunt in agreement. Alright, I'm going to bed. Night, you two. Night. Good night. And with that, they all rustle about for a moment before getting comfortable enough to sleep. Followed by loud snoring, which reminds me to stuff the earplug back in my ear. Peace and quiet. For the most part. Now my mind is running. Wonder what they're keeping from me. I'll probably find out in the next few days, but even still, my anxiety starts to spike again. The cool desert wind hitting my face reminds me to get under the heated blanket. It's the perfect temperature. I hope this comfort lasts a little while longer. I'm tired. When I wake up again, I can't help but wonder one thing. Will I ever have a consistent place to sleep? At the very least, this heated blanket did wonders. I find myself completely enveloped by it. If I didn't know any better, I'd say I could fall asleep again. Hell, I don't even know what time it is. Maybe I can? Oh? Chapter 7. Snowtop Respite. My inner thoughts are interrupted by a voice just outside of my toasty cocoon. Hey, Cyrus. You awake? Axel sighs. It's not too late to just leave him, you know. We really gotta work on your sense of humor. I thought it was funny. That's the problem. Oh, really? Axel interrupts him with a fairly demanding tone. Guys, seriously, not first thing in the morning. There's a pause. Sorry. Same. I'll start getting the truck packed up. I'll help. Appreciate it. Now then, my worst fears are coming to fruition. Axel starts to slowly pull off the blanket, giving me a healthy blast of desert air. I can't help but shiver as I rub my eyes. That weird lantern from last night must be on again. It's the only source of light I can see. I know it's a bit cold. You can keep the blanket on while we're in the car, okay? Nah. Nah. No. You did this. You did this. On one hand, it's nice that he is taking care of me. On the other hand, I sort of feel like I'm being coddled. Shit, I need to be more assertive. With my cover blown, I quickly sit up to stretch. Sorry, I didn't mean to oversleep. Actually, we're leaving a bit earlier. I'm glad to see you're an early riser. Habit I got into during university. Still tired, though. University, huh? Might have to pick your brain about that on the trip back. Here, let's get everything packed up. Alright. Axel's about to lift more of the blanket off of me before I decide to do it myself. I got it, thanks. Hey, oh, no problem. How are you feeling? Before answering, I quickly get myself up from my makeshift bed. I stand up slightly too fast, nearly losing my balance. Still, I carry on the facade that I'm in peak condition. Well, as peak as I can manage. Yeah, I'll live. Do you need any help? Not really. Ring and Rose can handle it. I just wanted to make sure that you're okay. Well, I'm fine. That bed was pretty comfy. Glad you think so. The one back home will be even better. Home, huh? You said we'll be there by lunchtime? Maybe a bit earlier. Ring got a message saying there were patrols a few miles away. We decided it'd be best to leave now. About that. Aren't they just a medical facility? Why does it sound like they have an army? Axel hesitates to answer. That sounds like a road trip question. Let's get everything together and I'll try to fill you in. Alright. I step away from the bed to let Axel do his thing. As much as I want to help, I don't think I could lift the blanket or the mattress thing. Axel folds the blanket up like it's nothing, though. Looking around the warehouse, it looks like most everything's put away, other than the lantern and some cooking appliances. And done! I think that's just about it. Axel holds everything on one bicep before he hands me a small pouch. Here, this has your water bottle and light stick. Oh, thank you. The pouch has a long enough strap to go over my shoulder. It almost looks like a small messenger bag. I kind of like it. Okay, I just have to get the last of the equipment and we'll be set. If you want, you can go wait in the in-vehicle. They should have it unlocked by now. You sure you don't want any help? I'll be fine. I carry way more back at the bar. Whether or not he realizes it, he flexes his free arm. If I didn't know any better, I'd say his biceps are almost as big as my torso. That's both a comforting and a scary thought. I'll head over. Just need to pee first. Axel lets out an embarrassed laugh. Alright, hopefully it's the last time you have to use the bathroom outside for a while. No kidding. With one more stretch, I make my way out of the warehouse. The moon is rather pitiful this morning. There's barely any light out here. I can see the in-vehicle at least. The back door is letting out some light. I think I see Ring and Rose standing against the side of it, chatting. Psst, hey. I don't want to startle them, but I have to get their attention somehow. I can barely see their silhouettes turn toward me. Not surprising, Rose is the one who answers. She also replies in a loud whisper. What? I need to pee. I'll be right back. Okay. What's wrong with you two? Ring replies normally. I don't. Instead, I grab the light out of my pouch. Wait, how do I use it? I didn't pay too much attention to it last night. It sort of feels like a piece of quartz. Smooth. Instinctively, I slide my fingers up the side of it. It starts to give off a faint green glow. Whoa, that's neat. Try to make it bright enough to see, and sure enough, it's like I have my own flashlight. Gotta pee on the building. Once I make it around the corner of the warehouse, I set the light stick down. It's still pretty cold out, so I make sure to do my business as fast as possible. When I finish up, I shake my hands to try flinging off some germs. Wish I could wash my hands. I move to grab the light stick when something catches my eye. The sun rising over the horizon. It's easier to appreciate without being on top of a train. The cool desert breeze is actually kind of nice, along with being able to experience it without him. I can't help but flip my hair through it and smile. I don't know why, but I think today's going to be a good day. I can't appreciate the scenery for too long. Rose is starting to yell for me. Cyrus! Are you done peeing yet? I can't help but laugh, mainly at the absurdity of the situation. Yes, I'm coming. Okay. I stuff the light stick back in my pouch and then turn the corner. Rose and Ring are talking while Axel is putting away the rest of the equipment. He notices me and starts waving. I give an awkward smile as I wave back. I know he's a tiger, and even though they look completely different, he reminds me a bit of Damien. It's comforting in a way. I almost managed to get to the car without incident, but I sneezed loudly. Yes. Yes, Rose. Oh my god, yes. Yes. Rose does give off that energy. And I am for it, and I'm all for it. Oh, let's get you in the car. We don't want you to catch a cold. I sniffle, cringing as I have to use my sleeve to wipe my nose. Sounds good. Gross. I can sneeze on you next time if you'd prefer. It'd be the last thing to come out of your mouth if you do. Bet. At least you've got energy. Come on, let's get this trip started. I nod as I make my way into the warm truck and sit where I was last time. I take it Rose is the driver of the crew. Ring and Axel sit down across from me. For the most part, I'll drive if she needs a break, but it's only another 5 hours, so she'll be fine. Knowing her, we'll get there in 3. She may be a speed demon on her bike, but she wouldn't risk the truck. You haven't seen her drive when you're not around. No one likes a tattletale, Ring. Hang on, hang on. Okay, will this one, will this give me the screaming?
No one likes the tattletale ring.
No. Is it old robot?
No one likes the tattletale ring.
Nah. I was gonna like do a thing which is screaming. No one likes an eavesdropper either, Rose. There's no response, which makes Ring click his tongue in annoyance. Bitch. I cough at the bluntness while Axel sighs. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that we were brother and sister. I guess I do say that a lot. You and everyone else back home. To be fair, it does seem like you get along well with each other. Ring scoffs at that. She's like that with everybody. Always in other people's spaces. Axel starts to chuckle. What? She is. Nowadays she is. I've told you how much of a wildcat she used to be. Used to, he says. Oh, trust me, you wouldn't want to tangle with her when she gets serious. I'd rather avoid her altogether, thank you very much. Good luck with that. Huh. Instead of interrupting, I opt to just listen in. I can learn a lot just by blending in with the background. What about you, Cyrus? How are you liking things so far? Oh, oops, I got distracted. Oh, well, it's only been a day, but it's better than most days I've had recently. I can only imagine. Sorry, I'm really not trying to fish for sympathy or anything. Doesn't mean you can't use it. Ring groans. What? You're so fucking corny. I don't know, I think it's kinda sweet. See, he's sensible. Shocking. Don't you have work to do on your axiom or something? I'm glad you asked. No, I don't. In fact, as soon as we start moving, I'm going back to sleep. Ring finishes speaking with a subdued growl, but I don't think it's aimed at me. Axel leans in to whisper something to me. He forgot his earplugs, so he hasn't gotten the best sleep lately. Ah. Ring scoffs again before leaning back and crossing his arms. I actually feel sorry for him. I know all too well how crappy a day can go just from a lack of sleep. Do you want us to be quiet while you sleep? He opens one eye to look at me before he shrugs. If you want, doubt you're as loud as her. I half expect Rose to come over the loudspeaker to yell at him. Thankfully, the silence persists. We'll be quiet. With a grunt, Ring shuts his eye and tries to drift off. Not long after he does, the truck starts moving. For some reason, that gets my heart pumping a bit. It's actually setting in that I'm heading towards my new home, wherever that might be. Axel looks as calm as ever. Meanwhile, Ring seems to have already fallen asleep. I wish I could knock out that fast. I lean back in my seat as well. I wonder what's going to happen to me and if I can avoid it altogether. Not sure. I'm sure if they want to, they can force me to do whatever. Hell, I'm sure Axel could do whatever with just one hand. I guess I should be thankful that, so far, he's been pretty nice. Something the matter? He catches me off guard again. I will admit, it's somewhat annoying that he can read me so well, even if it's to check on me. Yeah, I'm fine. Just a bit nervous is all. It'll probably be a rough few days, but after all our work is done, you're free to just relax and do whatever you can. He didn't say whatever I want. Which I guess makes sense, since I'll be under house arrest, it seems. Can you go over what we're going to be doing exactly? Not surprisingly, Axel starts to tense up. Maybe I'm easy to read, but I'd like to think I'm getting better at reading other people too. When we get back home, we're going to have you meet with our doctor. We're going to try to help you get your memories back. And it's only for information on Rasoom. For the most part, yes. And after that, we'll make sure they don't take you again. I see. What? It just seems to be good. Just seems too good to be true is all. I'm going to be living with you from now on, without having to do anything. More or less. In my opinion, I think you've paid your dues in excess. In excess. If you say so. As much as I'd like to believe I'll be free to just sit around and do nothing, I doubt I'd be able to sit still for long. I'd probably get bored within a week or two. I guess I can use the free time to plan my way back home. Although the more that I think about it, there's not much of a chance of me going home, is there? For some reason, that thought gets less and less sad the more I dwell on it. At the very least, I want to find out how I got here. Maybe hit whoever sent me here with the shovel in the meantime. Oh, speaking of violence. Hey, Axel, I think there's something you should know. What's that? I'll look over to make sure Ring is still asleep before slowly taking out the gun in my pocket. I have this. Axel looked surprised for a moment, but not as much as I expected. Oh yeah, you did say he gave you a weapon. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's locked. I don't think he had any intention for me to use it. Knowing him, he wouldn't have wanted you to use it against him. Given the chance now, I probably would. I guess that was smart of him. I'd say I'm just joking, but I'm not sure I am. Would you like us to unlock it? Huh? That's why you wanted to show me, right? Well, no, I just wanted you to know I had a weapon. Oh. He gives an awkward smile. That's thoughtful of you. I didn't peg you as the type to just go gunslinging without reason. I'd say that's a fair judgment. As far as I know, I've only fired a gun once, and that was just recently. Did you like how it felt? That's an odd question. Did I? I mean, it felt kind of cool, I guess. Just because it feels so futuristic compared to what we had. It is a nice model. I'm surprised you left it with you. Oh, really? I doubt that was on purpose. Me neither. Again, if you want, we can unlock it. Sleeping Beauty over here can hack into pretty much anything. Why though? I thought you might feel better having some form of self-defense. Maybe. I carefully look over the gun again. Would you just keep it locked, like it has been? Not unless you want us to. I ponder that. How could I guarantee that they'd keep it unlocked for me to use? This was meant to be more of a surprise, but we have an axiom back at home I was going to give you. That snatches my attention. Wait, what? Why? Aren't they, like, really expensive? It'd be convenient for you to have one. It's no big deal. We've had this one for a while, but no one can really handle it. Wait, that kind of worries me. Why? Well, it was a prototype model the company tried out. It didn't go over well. It's actually one of a kind. Huh. How'd you get it then? The company who manufactures them gave it to us. We all got an axiom and some extras. Ring actually has another one he uses at home. The bigger model he has is only for missions. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. Different models for different purposes. Exactly. I'll give it to you when we get back home. I keep it in storage. I'm kind of excited. But, why can't people handle it? Axel looks a little worried. It, really hurts to put it on. Most models you can just take on and off at your leisure. This one, however, digs deep into your skin so that it can't be removed easily. Hurts like you wouldn't believe. Oh, I can probably handle that, if that's all. Exactly, I can help you set up everything, that gun included. Alright, sounds good. I appreciate it. It's no trouble. Without sounding cheesy, I think it was meant for you. Just, don't tell Ring about it till you get it. He's had his eye on it for a while. Oh wow, exclusive secrets already. Alright, I take it he couldn't handle it well? Handle it? I hadn't even turned it on yet and he's already started moaning. I snorted that. Wow. Don't tell him I said this either, but he cried when he got his ear pierced. I have to actually cover my mouth just so I don't burst out laughing. Don't want to explain that to a sleeping dragon. I just nod with tears in my eyes. That's really funny. He really is all bark no bite. I'll take that with me to the grave. So will I. Axel starts to chuckle too. Ring stirs a bit and we both freeze. Thankfully he just readjusts himself, which causes both Axel and I to breathe out in unison. Which in turn elicits another silent laughing session. Just like last night, I'm feeling pretty good. It's nice to have lighthearted conversations without snark for a change. It might hurt me down the line, but I think I can trust this man. I'm willing to try anyway. There we go. Get myself into a more comfortable sitting position. The rest of the car ride is fairly uneventful. Let me readjust my mic. I'm speaking into the side. There we go. Ring's still asleep while Axel reads his book. I go between sleeping and staring out the window. Actually, can I readjust this so it's more pointed towards Excuse me, hang on. There we go. Yeah, yeah, there, yep, there we go. Every time I wake up, the scenery is completely different. I wonder if we're going that fast or if this country is just diverse in its environments. We even passed through what I assume is a crater caused by the 7 stars. Despite what caused it, I can't help but admire its beauty. It looks like a glass pit surrounded by the remaining sand. I wonder when the last time I went on an actual road trip was. A long time ago I visited Damien at his house, but only once. He wasn't out yet, so it was hard to act honest. Still, when it was just us two, he made sure to show me how much he loved me. Damien, I miss you. I wish most of my memories of you weren't so hazy. How long has it been since we saw each other? Rose's voice coming through the speaker puts a pause on my theorizing. Hey boss, you there? Hear you loud and clear. What's up, Rose? We'll be at the bunker in about 10 minutes. That makes my heart skip a beat. We're almost there already? Roger that. Good work as always. No sweat. Axel starts to nudge Ring awake. There's a trail of drool coming from his maw. Come on, bud. We're almost there. Do you want to see don't you want to see you know who? Ring pops an eye open in panic before quickly calming down. You know he's on a mission right now. Ah, good, you're awake. Fantastic. The dragon stretches to wake himself up. Almost there? Yep, about 10 more minutes. Good. I'm ready for some time off. As far as I know, we got a couple weeks before any pressing matters. Perfect. I'm gonna take the next week off, then take on some odd jobs or something. What kind of odd jobs? Ring gives me a look riddled with exhaustion. I help people fix their shit when they break it. He's a good handyman. Oh, I see. If you need anything fixed, let me know. Actually, we do have something you can fix tomorrow, if that's okay. What? Just something Cyrus brought. We'll show you tomorrow. He seems disinterested as usual. I don't blame him. I'm not really a morning person either. Rose comes over the loudspeaker again as she pulls the car to a rolling stop. Alright, we're here. I peek out the window. Looks like we're still in the middle of nowhere. Although we're under some sort of rock formation. I can see a city in the distance, but it's way too far to walk. How do we get there? Just watch. And don't tell anyone. That too. Yo, that's freaky. I can't even ask why before it feels like there's a small earthquake under the truck. After a moment, we seemingly start to drive downward. Oh, hold on to something. We're going downhill for a little while. Underground? Glad to see you still catch on fast. Ring puts on a seatbelt before grabbing onto a nearby handle. I start panicking since I can't figure out how to put on the seatbelt. It's not long before Axel motions me over to him. Here, come sit between us. I'll hold on to you. I don't have much time to think about it as we start descending fast. Okay. Without thinking, I jump over to the other side of the truck. Axel helps me between himself and Ring, holding my shoulder as he straps me in. As usual, he's very warm. Okay, that should do it. I'll keep holding on to you till we're down, alright? I nod as everything starts to get dark. The inside lights flash on, but the outside is still completely pitch black. After what feels like several minutes, I can see where we're headed. Looks like a huge underground cave with a few small buildings. Wow. That's our base of operations. Well, kind of. We share it with some other groups. Do you live there? No, we live in different cities. Oh, really? I've connected all of our residences to a private capsule system. Despite living on opposite sides of the country, it's almost like we're in our own apartment complex. Whoa, that's impressive. We used to live together, but that posed problems. Like what? Security issues, plus if one side gets compromised, we can quickly go somewhere else without being tracked. That is pretty convenient. Indeed, we used to live on the base actually, but we got to the point of wanting our own space. Speaking of, where will I be staying again? You'll stay with me for the next day or two. We have a room at the base for you to stay in, but we just need to clean it up. Oh, I'm living underground? That's kind of cool. If you say so, you'll miss the sun. I'll have it set up so you can come visit us when you want or need to. Hey, I didn't sign up for that. Okay, fine. You can come visit anyone who's not being difficult. Thank you. I snort. I'll be sure to knock. We'll be coming to you more often than not. You can't port without an axiom. I can see Axel flick his ear, but he doesn't reply. Oh, didn't realize that. Why don't you just give him one of yours, Ring? No, I use them all. How many do you have? That's none of your business. Rose comes over the intercom. He has like 8. I don't have that many. Ring spits back to the ceiling, which doesn't reply. Jeez, you do have a lot. I need them. What, you have like collector's editions or something? I say in jest, but I don't think Ring takes it as a joke. In fact, he takes a second to reply. No? Oh my god, what a loser. I can't help but laugh again. Seriously? Seriously? Why the hell are there collector's versions of... I stop myself mid-sentence before I remember the plethora of special edition smartwatches or phones we had. Actually, never mind. It's not that outlandish, I guess. Thank you. I wasn't vindicating you. Don't need you to. Are we almost there? Pulling up as we speak. Thank God, ready to sleep in my own bed for once. How far away do you live, Ring? That's classified information. I instinctively grimace, but he couldn't have known. I guess it's fair. Axel gets himself out of his straps before leaning over to get me out of mine. In any case, tomorrow I can give you a tour of the facility. Probably not a good idea to do it till we get the okay from our boss. Dang, was looking forward to it. Looks cool down here. Glad to hear it. I'll show you how the elevators work tomorrow so you can get some sun when you need it. Is that okay? Most likely, if it poses an issue, Rose or I can come along. Got it. I didn't realize how pale I had gotten. I could use some sun. If you want, we can walk into town instead of porting. Maybe one day. Not today, though. Fair enough. Axel opens the door for us. Ring immediately gets out to stretch. Secret tunnel, secret tunnel, secret tunnel, secret tunnel. Maybe I should pay Vita a visit too. Sleeping in that thing ain't good for my back. You know, they'll probably be a bit busy for the next week or so. Yeah, I forgot about that. Don't worry, I won't tell them that you name-dropped them. Ring covers his mouth. Shit. Ring, I think we might want to just drop the code names while we're home now. No way. Are you going to make Cyrus call you a different thing every mission then? No, he can just call me Ring. Axel sighs. This is going to get old real fast. I'm kind of with Ring on this one. Rose joins us from around the front. Really? Well, yeah, we didn't get this far by not being careful. See? Even Rose is making sense. What's that supposed to mean? Guys. Axel stops them before they can even start. I just think it'd be a good step to help Cyrus trust us. Well, don't we need to trust Cyrus first? Everyone looks at Rose. Don't get me wrong, I know he's been through a lot, but personally, I want to wait till Vita checks him out thoroughly. Like if he has a tracker on him or something. Huh, I didn't think of that. That thing on the back of his head was probably... We don't know that. Look. I know you're mostly just following orders, but I think we just need to take this a little slower. Let's see how he is after everything with Vita. But there's enough tension in the air to be uncomfortable. Enough to where I'm glad they're leaving me out of the conversation for once. Although I decide to intervene anyway. I tug on Axel's jacket. I really don't mind. I don't really mind. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. And besides, I'm used to people not telling me their real names. I was meant to be a joke to lighten the mood, but I think it had the opposite effect. Eventually, Axel sighs again. No, you're right. Sorry, I shouldn't push you guys into sharing personal information. We're not saying we don't want Cyrus around, but... Ring starts coughing. I'm not saying I don't want Cyrus around, but yeah. I think we should err on the side of caution. That's completely understandable. We'll take it one step at a time. Just try not to slip up, please. I really want to say, like you're one to talk, but that's a whole other can of worms I don't want to get into. Anyway, you need us for anything else? Not right now, no. But keep an eye out for any potential changes. We'll probably have a meeting with the boss at some point. I don't know why we can't do that remotely. She's a stickler for security. I know I have a lot to learn from her. Well, it's nearly 9 a.m. back home. Shops will be opening soon, and I've got some errands to run. Got it. Thanks for all your help. We couldn't have done this without you. Yeah, keep me posted. Will do. As Ring walks past Axel, they give each other a high five. I think I'll head into town for a while myself. I want to see how the gym has gotten. How the gym has been since we left. Sounds good. Do you want any help? Thanks, but no thanks. Besides, you gotta go check on the bar. I guess that's true. Wonder how much I'll have to clean up this time. It's a bar. If it's messy, that means people are using it, right? If you say so. See you, boss. Let me know if you need anything. Of course. Get some rest. Instead of a high five, they give each other a fist bump. She walks in the opposite direction of Ring. Now it's just Axel and me. Axel, well, you want to head back to my place? I pucker my lips. I know that's not what he meant, but I still choke back a cough. Yeah, sure. How far away is it? It'll only take us about a few minutes to get there. We'll port. Ah, handy. Indeed. You ready? Axel starts walking and nods for me to follow. And I do so. Oh, when we enter the building, I'll have to ask you to keep your eyes closed. Is there one of those weird hallways that teleports you? What? Oh no, thankfully we have more modern technology. We just don't have the right clearance for you to really see everything yet. The capsule motel Lance took me to isn't considered modern? God damn! Axel holds out his paw. I'll guide you through. It won't take us long to reach the station. I stare at his big paw for a moment. You sure you're not trying to sell me? Axel coughs before laughing nervously. As far as I'm aware, we're not. Sorry. As far as I'm aware, I'm not. Satisfied with his flustered expression, I grab his paw and close my eyes. Lead the way. I'll try not to peek. Axel effortlessly envelops most of my hand. I can tell he's trying to hold back. Don't worry, you get used to it. Axel laughs to himself and gently leads me through this new building. Damn, his paw is warm. It's the little things. Even though my eyes are closed, I take mental notes on how long some of these hallways are. Maybe the building goes further into the cave than I thought. I can't help but tense my eyelids. It's uncomfortable to keep them closed for this long. I feel like I'm going to walk into a wall at any moment. How much further? Just a bit longer. We're almost there. Alright. Oof! All of a sudden, Axel stops in front of me. While not as hard as a wall, crashing into Axel's back isn't much better. I can't help but open my eyes as I use my free hand to check my nose. His back is more toned than I thought. Jeez, what was that for? Oh, hey, Vita. Axel's grip around my hand tightens. Huh? Reflexively, I try to lean over to see who it is, but as soon as I do, I remember to shut my eyes. I'm not getting in trouble for something so stupid. I see you all made it back in one piece. You did make it back in one piece, right? Thankfully, although I think Rose mentioned something was wrong with her arm. Sounds like nothing of note happened then. I swear, when will she learn to take care of that thing? Axel almost tries to push me behind him. Why? Is it bad we met this person? Ah, you did find him. Axel grips even harder. Yeah, he's been through a lot. I heard. Ring gave me a debriefing while you were on the road. Of course he did. Something the matter? No, nothing. Even with my eyes closed, I can feel Vita staring at me. Why are your eyes closed? Oh, they're talking to me? I pause for a moment. I try to face their direction when I reply. This is almost as awkward as when I woke up in that alley. Axel told me to keep them closed. Something about certification or something. Ah, I see. I don't think anyone's going to do anything if you open them, but it's your call. Vita, come on. Just saying. I guess in that case I won't be looking at him today after all. Axel loosens his grip a little and sighs. I was going to suggest holding off a bit. He needs some time to get acclimated. Vita doesn't respond at first. It'll happen sooner or later. I know. Well, I'll be bugging you until he gets his IDs. I want to get this over as soon as possible. Now it's my turn to grip Axel's paw harder. I furrow my brows as I start to get concerned. Get what over exactly? Vita takes another moment. When they do reply, it's almost melancholic. I have a myriad of tests for you, both physical and psychological. This gives me an opportunity to warn you ahead of time. At least. Vita sighs. Prepare yourself. You most likely won't be the same once we're done. I figured as much. No use denying it. I try to say with a bit of resolve, but my trembling hand probably gives me away. I can respect that. I'm not exactly known for sugarcoating things, but I'm not going to try to push you over the edge for the sake of it. I'm not sure if that's meant to be comforting. I appreciate it. I think. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm heading back to my room for the day. And Axel? Yes? Never mind. Have a good day, Cyrus. Axel pulls me closer, not giving me a chance to reply. You as well. Goodbye, Vita. I can hear Vita walking away. I don't move or speak at first. Eventually, Axel nudges me. Sorry about that. Ready to keep going? Yeah, sure. There's an awkward silence surrounding us. So that's the doctor, I take it? Yes. They seem nice. They can be, although they can be too blunt for their own good. I'm surprised they let us off that easily. Huh. Well, I guess it makes sense for them to be blunt. What? How do you mean? As a doctor, you should give it to your patients straight if you can. I guess. Let's go. Okay. I get the feeling Axel doesn't want to talk right now. I keep my mouth shut along with my eyes as we keep walking. Thankfully, it isn't too much longer until we reach our destination. Alright, we're almost there. We just gotta stand in this room for a minute or two. It's not a hallway? No. Those models have been out of service for a while. They're not very safe. Oh. Glad nothing happened during the times I used one then. Plus, you can open your eyes in this one. Much more comfortable. I see. Can I open them now? Hang on, just one more second. Okay, we're in. You can open them. I slowly opened my eyes to prepare for something unexpected. I'm almost disappointed to realize that it looks like a big elevator, complete with a carpet and number pad by the door. The set of doors on either side reminds me of the one in hospitals. I'm kind of surprised by how plain it is. Really? I haven't seen a lot of rooms like this. Huh, weird. Maybe this is old school here? Alright, hang on to the rail if you need to. Sometimes it gets a bit funky. Axel heads over to the number pad and starts to input a really, really long code. Like 15 digits long. You can remember all of that? I have to if I want to get home. Fair enough. And we're here. What? Something wrong? We just got in here. We're done? Yeah, that's a standard length of time. Jeez, that's crazy. I'll admit it took me a while to get accustomed to. But after a decade or so, you get used to it. If you say so, we're here then? Yep, welcome home, Cyrus. Axel taps the pad once more to open the sliding doors. Just like Lance, we're walking right into his home. We're gonna leave off here tonight. Fuck that guy. Just the rant that I went on at the beginning was violent. It was so violent. Like I muted my mic. I muted the mic because it was violent. It was extremely violent. Let me go into the bonus room real quick. I'm kind of curious while there is. Huh. I'm sorry, they're just so sweet. Anyways, I'm gonna head off here, make a TikTok, and then go to bed. So, okay. Stay safe, have a good night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.